Just let me, I'm going to just introduce myself, and I just want to, I'll go quickly over a few of the features that we have that some of the other home inspection companies don't have. But one thing I really want to talk about today is, as you as a realtor and you're showing that customer a house for the first time, and that you can walk through it with them and you can kind of spot things and keep it in your mind, oh, that may be a problem. Oh, that may be a problem. So it's kind of an educational thing as you walk through the home. And that's more what we're going to talk about today than anything, and how to cost it. Now, as you all got a binder, you should all have this small pamphlet, and probably a lot of you have seen this pamphlet, but it's basically showing our three different plans. And so at Pillar to Post, we have a Plus package, a Premier package, and a Prestige package. And the beauty about all these packages is that if you take our Plus package and you compare us to, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Home Boss, if it's Knockout, whoever. And all I'm doing is naming the top people that are out there. They don't do half of what we do on that plan. So no one does 360-degree visual photos except Pillar to Post. Now, people say, well, I got photos of the house. I got a photographer to come in. But did the photographer see that spot on the ceiling right there? Well, our 360-degree did. So when we say 360, it goes everywhere. It goes all over the walls, to the floor, to the ceiling, the 360-degree in that whole place. Not only does the 360 do that, but it actually gives us a floor plan measured. It's a laser beam that measures the entire house with a laser beam and gives you the exact square footage. No one else does that. No one. Some of the other things that we don't know of anyone that does is, as you know, we print all of our inspections at the job site. If the buyer's there, we print them and put them in this binder. And we go through it in detail with that customer. Yeah. So, matter of fact, before I bought Pillar to Post, and the reason I bought Pillar to Post, they inspected my home. And they gave me this binder at my home, and I still have it in my closet. And I went through it, and I said, man, oh man, it's so impressive when you sit down and talk to that customer and go through the report right that minute. So no one else does this. I mean, it's just impossible for some people to do. And the reason it's so impossible for some of those people to do it is because, to begin with, Pillar to Post has been in business since 1993. And so when you've been in that business for that long, and we are ranked the #1 home inspection company in the whole United States, the technology is just amazing. And that's what we get to use, is the technology that they basically has given us. When I was at the expo not too long ago, and Nathan was there for Knockout and so forth, Nathan and I was talking, and he was going through the binder, and he was going through, oh man, where'd y'all get this? How do y'all do that? And he's just asking questions. But when for him to go back and do it, it's so cost inefficient for him to do it. There's no way he can do it. So absolutely, there's going to be times that we're going to be a little more expensive, but it's because everything that we do, it's just pretty amazing. One thing we're doing now is PTPEstimates, and I don't know if any of y'all had the chance to use PTPEstimates yet, but PTPEstimates is basically, if we have 5 things that are in your summary report that are wrong with the home, we price them for you the next day. So you'll know exactly what it costs to fix. No, that's 100% no charge. 100% no charge. And that comes with every one of our packages, whether it's a Plus, a Premium, or a Prestige. It doesn't matter. Okay? So when you go into the Premium package, which is definitely the most popular package, one of the things about the Premium package is we use our IR scan, infrared scanner. And give you a quick little scenario. And people also say, oh, should I inspect a new home? I don't know if I should inspect a new home. Well, I was at a new home about 2 months ago. I'm not going to say whose home it was, but y'all probably know. Anyway, I was doing a home inspection on this, and I was noticing on the outside faucet, it was loose, and it was kind of odd, and I couldn't get really the right water pressure out of it. So I go to the inside of the house. I use my IR scan. The whole inside of the wall was soaking wet. So what had happened was, when the plumber went to hook up his faucet, he had a bad crimp, whatever else, and as all that water was spewing inside that wall. We wouldn't have caught it if it hadn't done the IR scan. It happens. I mean, I don't care if it's, well, unfortunately, it's no longer Truland, but I don't care who it is. It happens. So IR scans are very, very important. People ask us all the time, well, do you think I should go with a premium? I mean, I don't know that I really need it. Well, we can't tell you whether you should or you shouldn't, but I just saved these people a lot of money. I can tell you that. Yes, ma'am.
In the instance of, I had a client that had a dryer and washer.
Mm-hmm.
There was none there.
Right.
It was a new build. The inspection company did not catch that. It was not required to the
Uh-huh.
Is that something you would catch?
Absolutely. So we check every outlet in the house, especially if it's a brand new one. Since if it was a washer and dryer in there and we couldn't get to the outlet, then we couldn't. But we check every outlet, no matter if it's 220, it's 110, whatever it is. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I may have mentioned one time before, I did a home for, and this was a D.R. Horton home, but this was a while back. This was a year and a half ago. And the city inspectors were in the house. And so I walk in, start doing my inspection. He said, I'm sorry, sir, you're going to have to leave. You have to stay outside while we finish our inspection. I said, okay, no problem. I'll stay outside. So I'm outside, and then all of a sudden, one of the guys come out, and he says, okay, we're finished up. You can go on in. He says, I don't even know why they hire y'all. Y'all don't ever find nothing at these things. In that home alone, 3 electrical problems. 3 that they didn't catch. Because they don't go around and check every outlet. In a brand new home, we check every outlet. Every outlet. Yes. If a washer and dryer is there, no, we do not. A washer and dryer is just kind of like a microwave oven that's not built in. It can be there today, it won't be there tomorrow. So,
but it comes with a house.
Yeah, we would not.
Because then how would you have catch what you were saying?
Well, we check the outlet, but we wouldn't be able to get behind the outlet. I mean, we can flip it on just to see if it comes on, but we don't check temperatures. I mean, it may not be getting hot enough. So no, we do not check any movable object. And no home inspector is supposed to. It's actually in the ASHI rules and regulations that we do not check any movable object in the home, unfortunately. But that's just, it's in the rules. But anyway, our last one, our Prestige program, basically is something that we're really focusing on a lot. We're fixing to do some big promos on mold. And this is where you really get into mold. And a lot of people think, mold's not bad. People don't mind it. But some people, man, they'll just run for days. So I'm going to tell you a quick little story, and then we'll get to our other stuff. This just happened. So I did a home inspection. House was really, really nice. Really had no problems. But gosh, I found mold. And so I tested it. I called the customer. He wasn't there. I said, hey, I did find some mold. I said, you want me to swab it? He said, well, you really think it's mold? And I said, I really do, but I don't know. I'm not a lab. Let me swab it. I'll send it to the lab, see what they say. So I sent it to the lab, definitely 100% mold. So these people had this house up for sale for 4 months and hadn't had any offers. That one thing killed the whole deal. Customers did not want to buy the house anymore. So how would you have prevented that if you're selling a home? How would you? Get a pre-listing inspection. And so if you got a house sitting there for a long, long time, I mean, what is it to cost you to go in? If it's $400 for our inspection on that house and it just saved your deal, and 9 times out of 10 that the homeowner is probably going to pay for it anyway, or whether you want to split it for, pre-listings are just really where it's at. Now we've got a special deal. We're doing pre-listing inspections with $100 off for the month of June. So if anybody has a pre-listing, just let us know. We'd be glad to take care of it. So any other questions on any of that? And then I'll kind of get into some of the other stuff. So we basically made up a flyer about what's in your house. And a lot of people don't understand the difference in plumbing. And so back in the late 80s, all the way through 1998, they had polybutylene. So how do you, if you walk into a house and you know it's that age of home, how do you know if it's got polybutylene? Well, the best way to be able to tell, polybutylene was the only gray plumbing in the homes. So if you had gray plumbing in that home and you spotted it, 99% of the time it's going to be polybutylene. Polybutylene was sued with a big class action lawsuit. A lot of people were paid to have their plumbing changed. They didn't have it changed. They kept it, just kept the money, and it's still in homes. If you got homes in Lake Forest, it is all over Lake Forest. I'm just going to tell you, all over. So just keep that in your mind, polybutylene. Then you come back to the next bad one. So I had a customer that had polybutylene, and they knew they were going through all these lawsuits, and they got paid for it, and they went and switched out their plumbing. But guess what they switched it to? Durapex, which was the plumbing that was come back after that, which is also bad. So a very bad plumbing that run all the way up to, believe it or not, 2016. We just did a house just a couple of days ago that had Durapex 2016. So those are the two bad types of plumbing that you kind of want to stay away from. But I will tell you that don't go into a home and see the orange plumbing and say automatically it's Durapex. Durapex is just a brand. That's it. There's other brands called Ruapex, and there's all kinds of them that look identical. But unless you see the Durapex name on it, it is not Durapex. So allow us to take a look at that. If we can't find a name on it, what we highly recommend, if we think it is to get a plumber to come in and do some extensive research to determine if it's Durapex. But I will tell you, I bought a house for my daughter. It has Durapex. Did I run from it? No. Because the biggest thing you got to do is just keep an eye on it. To me, I don't think it should be a deal breaker, but some people, there's just no way they're going to buy a house like that. I did one, I think it was last week, that had Durapex, and I talked to the guy about it, and he said, well, I don't care if it's got Durapex. I'm just going to watch it. So that's it. That's all you got to do is keep an eye on it. My phone just keeps on wanting to go off. And then we have the new PEX today. If you go into the new PEX today, which is the blue and the red PEX that you see throughout the house, if you ever see the blue, you're going to know that's the newer style. We don't have any problems that are going on with that PEX today, except rodents. So anytime you got a material like that, a rodent could chew into it and spring a leak. But other than that, I'm sorry?
Is there a perfect plumbing?
There's not. There's not. And there's the next one it was going to say is copper. I mean, copper, if I had a house, I'd want copper more than anything. But the bad thing about copper is, with all the salt water that we have here, it does corrode over time. But it's probably one of the safest. Now, I used to have in the house I own, I used to have polybutylene. And before I bought the home, they changed it out to CVPC. And I don't know if you're familiar with what that is, but it's basically, it looks just like PVC, the white pipe, but it's kind of more of a yellow tint to it. And it works great. It won't bust, whatever. The biggest problem with it is it's very, very brittle. So I went to turn my water off outside one day and just turned it too hard, and it just snapped right off. So it is very, very brittle. So that can happen. But, you just got to know in the back of your mind when you're showing a home on what could be in that home. That's just some of the ideas. Then the last little thing we got down here is your wiring. As you know, back in the late 60s and early 70s, they put in some homes aluminum wiring. I don't know if you know it or not, but 99% of all the wiring that's coming into your home from the city is aluminum wiring. But it's aluminum twisted wire, and it's a great conductor. But the problem why people quit putting it inside their home is all of our outlets have all copper fittings on it or whatever. So you can't tie your aluminum into the other line. It's impossible because it starts arcing and it breaks the seal of it. So in the state of Alabama, as of today, it is not against the law. It's not a code violation. It's not anything if you have aluminum wiring in your home. There's no problem with it. The biggest problem you got to do is check with your insurance company, because some insurance companies will not insure it if it's got aluminum wiring in it. Now, in the state of Florida, that's totally different. In the state of Florida, you're not allowed to have aluminum wiring any longer. If you have it, it has to be changed out in today's world. So it's easy for us to know. Remember, 68 to like 72, there's only about 4 years that they put it in. Then they realized they were having too many problems with it, so they kind of discontinued it.
Dan, are you doing Florida now?
Yes and no. So So I'll go a little bit further since you asked that question. We are in the process of actually, and it's very early process, we're in negotiations to buy the pillar to post in Florida, in the Pensacola market. So we wouldn't only have here, we would have there. So if you need an inspection yourself and you say, hey, Dan, and you're based here, I can go do the inspection for you now in the state of Florida. I have a license. That's right. That's right. But if you're based in Florida, I couldn't do it. Only if you're based here and you say, hey, Dan, I got one over there. I can do it. I have my license now. So I hope it's great.
What was the previous the 1960s and the wiring? What was it?
Just standard, your standard copper. Yeah. And they went through just this one little period because there was a shortage in supply of copper wiring. You couldn't get it, and it was very, very expensive. I don't know if you remember back in the days, they used to steal everything in the house to try to get the copper and sell it and make money on it. So they tried to figure out a way around that. So they started manufacturing aluminum hard wiring, which aluminum is a great conductor. I mean, it's actually very, very good. It's actually better than copper, but it just does not work with all of our outlet switches and everything that's in the house. It's not really a fire hazard. It's just, again, it's not against the code or not against the law to have it, but it is there. So
insurance get we're so concerned about it?
Well,
they'll say, oh my gosh, try to get it replaced because
that's right.
your insurance is so high or we can't insure you.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can't answer that question 100%. I can tell you in my BNI group, which I was actually at this morning, that's why it's just a little bit coming in. But our insurance guy, we've talked about that a few times. And he said, he's a broker, and he says, I've got 10 different companies, and I got 5 of them that won't say anything, and I got 5 of them will say no. So they look for everything for a reason, either go up on your insurance or to turn you down, period. One of the big things they're turning people down for now, as y'all probably know, is limbs over top of a house. So if you get a limb on top of your house, we're starting to write that up. So to make sure that thing's cut away from the house because the insurance company's just going to deny it. And then we're also looking strongly at, especially at metal roofings, on how metal roofing's attached, because we have a regular screw pattern. And if they're not the right screw pattern, then they'll reject the insurance on it too. So that's just some of the stuff that we do. This next little brochure is called a cost guide that I have. And the cost guide basically is if you go in and you see the customer's got a 1995 hot water heater and you say, and the first thing they're going to ask you, well, what's it going to cost to fix it? So all you got to do is say, well, I got that cost guide that Dan gave me. You can go right down here on the hot water heater and it's going to give you a good idea exactly what that hot water heater is going to cost you. So it's great to have. It's great to have in your car as you're showing homes. If you've got a concern, you can go out and say, yeah, well, okay, according to this is what it's going to cost. Now, pillar to post, we do this all over the United States. And the beauty and the good and the bad about that is, you figure, okay, well, how can costs be the same here as it is in California? Well, what they do is they take an average of your area. So let's just take, for instance, I know of a plumber that can put you a hot water heater in for $1,000, but I also know of a plumber that can put you a hot water heater in for $2,000. So this is an average. So it's not going to be the same for every single person you call out. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, I mean, the last time I had somebody out, this is what happened was the plumber came out. The inspector had told the buyer that they needed a new drip pan. So when the plumber came out to look at the hot water heater, he said, oh no, it's going to cost far more to empty it all, to drain it, get the new drip pan, put in everything, and it needs a whole new one anyway. It'd be like $2,250.
That's crazy.
I know. So anyway, it was just, and I think it was because the insurance company pushed the buyers to do that.
Well, to begin with, I mean, that kind of thing, since as you know, I was in the remodel business for so long, that drives me crazy because to drain a hot water heater, you hook up a water hose to it, to the bottom, and you turn on the valve and it drains itself. And then it makes it very light. And then you take a regular hand truck and lift it up and slide the pan under it, lift it down, and then fill it back up. I mean, that's all there are to it.
I think he was putting that piece of it like $1,200.
That's crazy.
I know. And this is a plumber I've used a lot.
Yeah,
so I was very upset.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah,
I would be
I
too.
was like-
A hot water heater costs about $450, $500.
Yeah.
That's what it costs. So you tell them, so they're getting $1,500 to $2,000 to put it in.
I know.
That's
For labor.
ludicrous, just ludicrous.
Do you do your own in-house repairs, or do you outsource them to your preferred contractors if they want to go through you to admit or amend anything on the inspection?
We don't do any repairs. We're not allowed by law to do any repairs. We don't do any of that. We will refer them to people we know. So PTP estimates that we do is a third-party company that Pillar to Post is affiliated with, which is called Punch List. They go in and price everything. And in a lot of the states in the United States right now, they're already doing that work if they want it. In our area, they're not here yet, so we cannot do it. But we'd definitely have a good list of people that we can refer to people to, but it's tough. I mean, when plumbing is the hardest, I would say, because I know Wes, who did my home, and I love to use him all the time. Every time I call him, he said, Dan, I can't get to it for 6 weeks. I mean, so they're so busy and there's so few of them. And unfortunately, that's why they're so dadgum expensive too, because they're so,
I know it was a toss up either I was going to become a plumber or an agent.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's right, man. If you can become a plumber, I mean, you can make some money. The last little thing I wanted to talk about was a comparison that I put in your packet. So basically, and Maria and I have talked about this, and I'm sure some of y'all all talked about this, is our pricing. And Dan, I mean, are we a little higher than some people? Absolutely. And the reason we're a little higher than some people is because of what we do. One thing we do, of anybody that will guarantee 100% that we'll do a home inspection for you tomorrow, or it's free. 100%. 24 hours, or it's free. We have 5 inspectors now. We grew 66% last month. We did 99 inspections last month. We've got 24 on the books this week. So that shows you what we're doing is we're doing the right thing. We answer the phone 7 days a week. You can call.
We got a call this morning.
Yeah.
And we're doing one this afternoon.
That's right.
The guy
Yeah.
said it's gotta be done today.
Okay, we're doing it.
So, I mean, 24 hours is a guarantee. Today's not the guarantee, but we can.
Yeah.
Make it work today.
That's exactly right.
And you did that.
Yeah. So and poor Matt, I feel bad for him, but he had one in Baby Net this morning. He's one in Foley right now, and he's going all the way to Sims this afternoon.
Oh my goodness.
But
Yeah, and with traffic lights out for a little while.
yeah. Shh, don't tell him that. Don't tell him.
We're good now. We're selling.
But that's why we've got 4 full-time inspectors on staff as we speak right this second, and I've got 1 in training. So 2 of our guys, this is kind of the people we hire too. One guy is a retired Atlanta police officer. One guy is a retired Daphne police officer, and now the other guy that we're training right now is an Orange Beach firefighter. So Mike Gorham, yes, yes, yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike's a great guy.
We know the family through.
Yeah.
Our kids' lives.
Oh yeah. So Mike came to me, and I said, well, I don't know if I really need someone or whatever, but let's go down and sit down and talk. And I was so impressed with him. I said, well, Mike, I may only be able to give you 1 a week or 2 a week until I can get some more business. He's so slammed. He said, I thought 1 or 2 a week. I mean, but the week that he came with, it was like 3 weeks after, we did 30. We actually did 54 inspections in 1 week. And I said, without you here, I wouldn't have even been able to do it. You're just turning work away. So I'm very glad to have him. It's not that I like to do 3 a day. I'll be honest with you, but I'll do it. I never tell anybody no. That's what I told Alan. We was trying to figure out how can we get this one in Sims today as we was riding over here. And I said, I'm not like that. I don't tell people no. I just don't. If you want it today, I'm going to take care of it today. And so we thank goodness still, knock on wood, we don't tell nobody no.
A gentleman moving down here at the end of the year that will be a retired firefighter.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna send him to you because I know he's going to get very bored.
Yeah.
He will want to be.
Yeah, bring him on. Bring him on.
I'll send him your way.
Well, if we finalize this transaction with the Pillar to Post in Pensacola, we're probably going to need 2 or 3 more for sure. One of my guys already lives in Pensacola. One of them lives in Orange Beach. So it's so nice that we got people that can just go wherever they got to go. So one last little thing I want to do is bring up a comparison. And so here is a comparison on a 1954 home, a 1,500 square foot with a crawl space and a pool. And it kind of gives you the pricing on competitor 1, 2, and 3. And I will tell you, I cannot tell you who competitor 1, 2, and 3 is, but I can tell you 2 of those are somebody I mentioned already today. So, but in us. So this kind of tells you what we do, what they don't do, in their prices versus our prices. So on a 1,500 square foot with a crawl space and a pool, $580 is what we charge as of right now. And then our one competitor was $675, $549, and then $550.
What do you do inspecting the pool? What entails?
So we do everything basically. We would not take anything apart. We don't take any equipment apart. We check the skimmer. We check to make sure that the can't even think of the name of it. The device underneath the pool that sucks through, that it's not broken, is fine. Make sure that there's a GFCI on the light that's in the pool. We check the surroundings. We make sure that the pool is bonded. Bonding is a big thing. If the bonding wires broke loose, you could step in the pool and get an electric shock. Not a killing shock, but it'll shock you for sure. So that's kind of the things. I mean, we have a routine that we go around. But one of the things, Maria, that I did, and this was 3 years ago, right when I got into this, I took a pool inspection class in Florida. So Florida writes all the pool inspection laws, you may say, in the whole United States, because that's where all the pools are. And so I went to Florida, went to Orlando, and took the class. It was quite an extensive class. And the one thing that we learned more than in there about the pools than anything is safety, 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 and safety. So most people don't realize that if you got a pool on the other side of that wall right there through that window has to have locks or alarm at 54 inches off of the ground. Has to. If you have a door going out, it has to have an alarm or a lock 54 inches off the ground. If all of your gates have to have locks or alarms at 54 inches off the ground. You say, okay, well, I don't see, you go into a commercial pool, you'll have a 4-foot gate, but how do you open it? It's got a little thing that comes up at 54 inches. You pull it up and it gets you through the gate. And that's the truth. It's, everybody says, well, that's going to be so expensive for my guys to fix. How are they going to do that? Well, there's another way to do it that's very inexpensive. You can actually put what they call an alarm buoy in your pool that floats in your pool. So if anybody fell in your pool or anybody climbed in your pool, an alarm goes off. So it's the big K. I mean, it's just really protecting kids. That's what we're really trying to protect. Kids that 6 and 7-year-olds that's got their friends in the house and a sleepover. Oh, let's go. We can sneak out my window. We'll go get in the pool. And then somebody drowns. So these are rules and regulations that were put in for a reason. So that's safety, safety, safety is the big thing. Think about a picket fence or a privacy fence. And you think how the privacy fences have 2x4s running across and boards nailed onto it. If your privacy fence has the 2x4s nailed onto the outside, that's a perfect way for people to climb up and put their foot on and jump over your fence. That's a safety situation. Now, we just let people know because it could happen. If your concrete's broken where you could trip, or if the door is too close to the edge of the pool, or if you got steps leading to the pool that don't have handrails, those are the kind of things we check.
What about the pump?
We check the pump to see if it's leaking and make sure it's running correctly, but that's all we do. We don't take it apart at all. Not at all. Any other questions on any of that? Let me see if I got anything else. I don't think I do. Okay, one thing too we've talked about a number of times is the virtual open house, the VOHs. If you've got a pre-listing, highly suggest to get a VOH. I'll tell you how nice I am today. I normally draw for VOHs, and we normally give a VOH away if you got a listing. Everybody in here today, I will give you a free VOH today. So if you have a listing on anything coming up, or if you have a listing today, we'll do a free VOH. Kind of show you what that's about. It's phenomenal. Okay. We're doing one for Carol Lee at Roberts Brothers on Saturday. We do them all the time. The good thing about it is you're going to get this floor plan that's on the VOH down here. You'll get the floor plan. You'll get the exact measurements of the house. You'll get everything you want to know. So just let us know, and we'll do it. So, any other questions?
What's the VOH exactly?
VOH, virtual open.
But what do you do?
So we do the 360-degree photos of the entire house, inside and out. So you'll see all around the house, inside the house, every closet, every door, everything. And then we'll do the floor plan, which is a measured floor plan. That you'll get all the measurements on the walls of the floor plan.
I love it. When Dan referred me to somebody in Florida, and I filled a post when I bought my last condo there. And I carried that around because I did a complete gut remodel. And I didn't have to have anybody drop any plans for me because I had every measurement. And then when I bought all my furniture, because I was buying in Atlanta, I was buying all over the place, I carried that plan with me everywhere. I really, really personally loved it. So when I've got clients, if they choose pillar to post, I always say, personally, I like that. That's something that is, you'll have that forever.
That's right.
So
That's right.
10 years from now, you want a rug, you go back and you look at it, okay, this is good.
So it would be a great thing for a seller then to have as a marketing tool.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so here is a copy of the floor plan that you'll basically get. And it's exactly like the house when it was built. This is one that we did for Mobile Bay, a house that they've got for sale. So yeah, I mean.
But you get a digital copy, so
yeah.
It's always with you. I like how you put your dimensions on the walls.
That's right, yeah. So everything measures, from laser from the top.
I did it twice for my mom on the house she bought and when she sold.
Right.
And I swear that the reason why her house sold Jubilee Farms was because of that pre-inspection that her floor.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that saying that. So one thing we do a lot on pre-inspections, if we're doing a total pre-inspection like we did on that, we'll have that printed out. We'll have our binder there while they're showing the house all the time, and leave it open with so they can see everything about that house. So they know going into the house, this is a doggone good house. And if they're thinking about, okay, well, who is pillar to post? Let them look us up. So something I just found out that amazes even me before I even bought the company. So my brother, which is he's a president of a hospital in Outer Banks, North Carolina. And he's so tired of being a president. He's tired of the medical field so bad. He's ready to retire. And I said, Ronnie, why don't you go in? We'll just buy this girl out in pillar to post. Why don't we just do that over here in Pensacola? And he says, I got to do my research. I just got to do my research. So he starts doing his research. Not only are we the number one in the whole United States at home inspections as franchise, but we're number 14 franchise in the whole United States. Number 14. Think of who are the others. Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, all this. We're number 14 in the whole United States, the best franchises to be at. So unfortunately, we don't say some of the proper words that Chick-fil-A does. What is it? My pleasure every time. But it is my pleasure. It is. But thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the work. I appreciate the business. And good luck on selling. And unfortunately, you won't hardly get Stacy anymore when you call into our office. You'll get Julie, which is Alan's wife. She's working for us now full time. But you always can still call Stacy.
I did.
Yeah.
We love her.
Yeah.
We love to ring her bell.
Yeah. Well, I like to ring her bell too. You know me and her. I say, you're not going to answer the stupid phone? I'm not part of this no more. I said, okay, well, you're not getting no money no more.
She told me about the app and doing it that way.
Oh, yeah.
She got me all set up.
Oh, that's what we ought to do. I'm glad you even brought that up. It's even here. So everybody got your phone? So I want you to dial or text 88500.
You are not signing up for spam.
Yeah.
Okay.
88500. And down at the bottom, put in DSloan all together, no spaces, just DSloan. That's it.
Okay, like that, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's correct.
Somebody's checking because I'm getting them.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, so if we do that, is this your mobile business card or is
That's
this
the app.
Okay, perfect.
So you can click on that, put in all your information. It'll come to us directly. You can always still text us, email us, call us. It doesn't matter.
With the information now, or what?
You want to show it?
With the
Show her
information,
everything.
just connect with them.
Oh, okay, right here. If you
It's
hit
12
that,
o'clock
it'll take you to our
today.
website.
What was that, what, you got me up on it?
It's an electronic-
12 o'clock today? Was that one in Bay Minette?
Mills Grass Street in Foley.
I bet you that's Matt because I know he was going back to Foley. So yeah, I bet it was Matt. Yeah, I know because Bobby had Loxley and Robertsdale.
Well, Stacy's picture's still there.
Yeah, she is. She's still the love of my life. What can I say?
Aw.
34 years. 34 years. And guess what we just signed up for?
What?
So, no, well, we always have a big anniversary because that's all we give is anniversaries, presents. We travel somewhere. So this year, we are actually hiking over the Swiss Alps.
I was gonna say, I knew it was gonna be some sort of exercising excursion.
Well, I haven't exercised in quite a while, as you can tell, but
I'm
I've got until September.
That'll be really cool.
But yeah, we are. We're doing the Swiss Alps. We're starting. We fly into Geneva, Switzerland, and then we go over and we're doing the Tour de Mont Blanc, which is yeah.
That's very cool.
But it's, yeah, so it's pretty neat though because you hike you hike a day, then you go to a 4-star hotel, you can shower and everything, and then you hike the next day to a different place, and then you keep doing that. And we do that
So you
for
have a
9
little
days.
reward at the end.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I know.
so
I love that.
yeah.
That's really cool.
So we can't wait. That's for sure.
When do you
Yeah.
go?
We go in September, September 3rd, I think, something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it gives me a chance to lose some weight and get back in shape.
Yeah.
Start walking every day.
Yeah, well,